Hey, Nathan. Yes, I can. Thank you. Yes.
Very good to have you. Go ahead, CG.
Yeah. So I actually came today to talk a little bit about the ring laser gyroscope. I'm a private pilot, so by no means an expert or a professional, but do know about ring laser gyroscopes. And I'd seen a couple of different conversations on here before about ring laser gyroscopes with people defending it who actually don't know how ring laser gyroscopes work. And so I thought maybe I'd come and talk a little bit about that perspective. Come pretty humbly, willing to talk, willing to have it pushed, not trying to talk over anyone or anything like that. So I wanted to talk a little bit about, if you guys don't mind, why the Sagnac effect on ring laser gyroscopes does prove that if it is sitting or bolted to the Earth, that the Earth is indeed rotating at 15 degrees per hour. Are you guys okay with that?
Well, not really, because why doesn't it rotate underneath aeroplanes at 15 degrees an hour? If it's rotating under the physics frame of a gyro, then it would rotate under a plane or a helicopter or anything else in the second reference frame.
Yeah, you're right. There is a second reference frame there, and so when we're actually as pilots calculating in how to calibrate your ring laser gyroscope, you do have to take velocity in the direction that you're going, which can be calculated, right, into effect when it comes to those ring laser gyroscope calibration. So yes, that is calculated into when pilots are actually flying.
So you're saying that it's calculated in that the continent you're traveling to is traveling towards you at 15 degrees an hour? No, that's simply not the case. You're wrong.
So yes, you do calculate that in.
So you're saying that the continent you travel to travels towards you at the rate of Earth turn, and when you go in the opposite direction, you're fighting Earth turn, potentially losing 500 miles an hour at the equator, fighting against a 1,000 mile an hour spin at 500 mile an hour in plane. Is that what you're saying happens? People are fighting against Earth turn. Sorry, I hadn't quite finished my statement.
Yeah,
you said you weren't going to talk over people. Were you just lying? Yeah, I haven't finished.
Sorry.
So, that does not happen. You do not have aeroplanes on the equator fighting a 1,000 mile an hour Earth turn. That is incorrect. So while you say you account for it, no, you don't account for the continents travelling towards you on a spinning Earth. That would be necessitated if there's two reference frames, as you assert with the gyro. You are wrong.
Are you cool with me responding now?
Well, you could say, yeah, you're right, I am wrong. Continents don't travel towards aeroplanes, and aeroplanes don't fight a 1,000 mile an hour turn on the equator. You could just concede that you're wrong.
So you're getting mixed up there, like actual direction, but so vector momentum or vector velocity mixed up with angular momentum there, right? So it's not that
no, I'm not. Don't make that declaration. I'm not. No, I'm not confusing those two things. If the Earth rotates underneath the gyroscope at 15 degrees an hour, then it rotates underneath anything else in that reference frame at 15 degrees an hour. But it does not. You've not conceded my point. You've told me that I'm confused. No, I'll say it slower. The Earth does not rotate underneath aeroplanes. We do not have continents travelling towards aeroplanes as they fly towards the continent, nor do we have aeroplanes fighting 1,000 mile an hour spin at the equator. That simply does not happen. I am not confused. I would like you to address this fact that you are incorrect about now.
Yeah, so there's not a difference between, there is a difference between a continent moving towards you and the reference point of the Sagnac effect that's happening inside of the laser that is indeed measuring the fact that the frame of reference that the light is hitting the readout laser sensor on is indeed changing at 15 degrees an hour, that you have to triangulate with the other two ring lasers that are inside, that are bolted to the frame of the airplane, that are indeed measuring the fact that in that frame of reference, it is accounting for the fact that the angular momentum of the Earth, it's not that the continent is moving towards the airplane at 1,000 miles an hour, because that would imply that it's moving through the air, which the airplane is moving at, which is a completely different thing, right? We're talking about two different frames of reference that exist, one producing vector velocity, the other one not producing vector velocity, but in fact producing angular momentum according to the frame of reference of the readout laser and the ring laser gyroscope. That's what I'm trying to distinguish right
That's fascinating. So does the ring laser gyroscope demonstrate the Earth turning underneath that frame of reference at 15 degrees an hour?
So what it does is that when the source of the laser output is deflected off of each of those mirrors and goes into the readout sensor, the 15 degrees of angular rotation that's happening on the Earth, right, is indeed registered on that readout sensor, right?
So it's a yes.
That doesn't affect
yes.
the vector velocity.
Right?
So yes.
Really?
Arwen, why? So yes, it is registering the Earth turning underneath at 15 degrees an hour then.
But that doesn't translate to vector velocity.
Sorry, don't tell me what it does or doesn't do. Just affirm what I have said. Correct. According to your statement, that is a demonstration of the Earth turning underneath at 15 degrees an hour.
No, what it's a demonstration of is the fact that there is in fact angular momentum with the Earth that can be registered with this readout sensor, right? Because it's going around the triangle that is in a ring laser gyroscope. Right?
So it's demonstrating the angular turn of the Earth, according to you, at 15 degrees an hour then. A simple yes would suffice.
But that doesn't translate to what you're saying is.
Don't tell me what it does or doesn't do. No. You still haven't affirmed that that's what you're asserting. It is. No. I just need a simple yes. No, you're telling me what it does. You're moving on. And I'm not going to move on until I get a... Stop talking. I'm not going to move on until I get a simple yes. That's what you're asserting. I want you to say, yes, it's demonstrating angular turn of the Earth to the tune of 15 degrees an hour. That's what you're saying.
It does do that, yes.
So it's demonstrating the Earth turning underneath at 15 degrees an hour, and if it turns underneath at 15 degrees an hour, then it also turns underneath the plane at 15 degrees an hour. But it doesn't.
No, because then that would mean that you're saying that the vector velocity of the airplane is stationary relative to the continent, which is not true.
Sorry, if the Earth turns underneath at 15 degrees an hour, then the Earth turns underneath at 15 degrees an hour.
Yes, in reference to.
But it doesn't. But it doesn't. Yeah, you're not listening to my reply. It doesn't, though. If it turned underneath at 15 degrees an hour, the plane would have the continent turning underneath at 15 degrees an hour, and it doesn't.
No, because then that would mean that the same vector velocity through the air, which we register as airspeed, right, is the same frame of reference as light traveling through the ring laser gyroscope, which is not true.
So what you're saying is it's two references, even though it's demonstrating only one reference. So you're saying it travels at the same speed as the ground when it's in the air. That would be one reference frame, not two.
No, I said at the beginning that there are two different reference frames.
Well, if there's two reference frames, then the Earth rotates underneath at 15 degrees an hour, but it doesn't. So there's not two reference frames. If it's turning... Why are you still interrupting? This is a fact. If it's turning underneath the gyro, it's turning underneath the plane. If it's turning, it's turning. You're saying it turns underneath the gyro, but we don't see the effect in the plane. Well, that's double-speak nonsense, because if it's turning, it's turning.
That is true, but it...
Right, but you've confirmed that's true, yes. If it's turning underneath the gyroscope, then it's turning underneath the planes. But it doesn't!
Nathan, you're not accounting for the difference between vector velocity, which is airspeed, right, and angular momentum, which is the speed of the turn. You're not differentiating those two things.
Sorry, would that be one reference frame then?
Excuse me?
Would that be one reference frame? So if the plane takes off and remains at the same speed as the reference frame underneath it, then it's the same reference frame?
I'm not sure that I follow.
Sorry, either it's two reference frames and the Earth turns underneath, or it's one reference frame and it doesn't. Are you confused?
No, but your explanation is doing is it's taking away the fact that there are two different things that the ring laser gyro is triangulating, not
Sorry,
measuring.
I don't
just
care what
one
it's
direction,
doing.
right?
We've established what it does. Apparently, according to you, it demonstrates the Earth turning underneath at 15 degrees per hour. That's what you claim it demonstrates. Fact.
Yeah.
If it demonstrates the Earth turning underneath at 15 degrees an hour, then the Earth turns underneath at 15 degrees an hour. Not
Yes.
just under that, underneath aeroplanes. And it doesn't. So if
so
you're going to
you-
argue or talk over me while I demonstrate for the third time that that doesn't happen, that you're now trying to argue for a single reference frame, no change as you leave the spinning reference frame that apparently, according to the gyro, turns underneath at 15 degrees an hour, but it doesn't underneath the planes, does it?
But it doesn't underneath the planes. Yes,
The
it does.
Earth does not rotate underneath aeroplanes at 15 degrees an hour. That is what you are claiming the gyro demonstrates, but it doesn't happen under planes.
So if I set the, so here's a really good example to demonstrate what exactly I'm trying to mean, so I can be really clear. If I set the ring laser gyro on the ground, right? Don't have it move or anything else like that.
Stop.
Well, yeah.
Stop. We
Yeah.
have already talked about this. We've established who cares what it does. You're claiming what it does demonstrate is a 15 degree per hour turn of Earth underneath that reference frame. That's what it does. Who cares about anything else beyond that assertion? That's the only thing that matters. I don't care how it works. I don't care what it does. I don't care how it comes to that conclusion. All I care about is the assertion being made based on what you think that equipment demonstrates. You think it demonstrates the Earth turning underneath at 15 degrees an hour. I don't need to hear anything else about what the gyro does or how it does it. It's not relevant. The only relevance is that the Earth doesn't rotate underneath anything except this, which you claim proves the Earth rotates underneath, which it doesn't.
So the reason that I can tell you that I know that it is because the Earth is rotating under it is exactly.
It's not! Are you deaf? It's not rotating underneath aeroplanes. So continually telling me what I've already just established. Yes, we know you claim the gyro demonstrates Earth rotating underneath. We know! You've made it clear. I've clarified it. I get it. You don't have to repeat 5 more times why you think the gyro shows the Earth turning underneath. Because I'm demolishing it by the fact that it doesn't bloody underneath the planes. Simple.
Hey, Nathan, I haven't been able to finish 2 sentences in this. We just
keep circle jerking us. We've established what you think the gyro does. You don't need to tell me 5 more times what you think the gyro does or how it comes to the conclusion that the Earth rotates underneath. We've done that. We've been there. We've established it. I'm not deaf. I'm not stupid. I know the conclusion. You think the gyro proves the Earth turns underneath. End of that particular part of this discussion. We're in agreement. You think it makes...
Can you let me explain why I know that works?
It doesn't! You're not addressing the demolition of your argument. You keep asserting that the gyro proves the Earth turns underneath. I say fine. Your assertion is the Earth is turning underneath the gyro. I get your assertion. I've listened to it. I've repeated it. I've clarified it. You've confirmed it. Took painstaking steps to make you say, yes, that is what the gyro's demonstrating. 15-degree turn underneath it. Yeah, we know! So why do you want to keep babbling on about it? Because you don't want to address... Because you do not want to address the demolition of it. The demolition being that that's not demonstrated in anything else. Things that would necessitate a 15-degree underneath would be a plane.
Can you give me 5 sentences, and then I'll shut up.
Is it about how the gyro proves the Earth turns underneath? Or is it going to address the fact that the planes don't demonstrate that?
Hey, Nathan, can you give me 5 sentences, and then I'll just completely shut up? You can
I've listened to your assertions. I'm now asking you a question. Will this be another assertion of how the gyro is claimed to prove the Earth turns underneath? Or will it be an address to the fact that the planes don't demonstrate that?
I want to show the fact that when a laser comes out of the output source and hits the mirrors to the readout sensor in the ring laser gyroscope, when there is angular momentum, okay, or a change in that angular, or like in the actual angular momentum, it will read the fact that the light hits the readout sensor at a different place. That can only happen if there's angular momentum.
Let me ask you a question.
No, don't. I heard you the first time. You said that twice. I heard the first time. Now, it is irrelevant. The assertion based on whatever the hell it's doing, which is totally irrelevant, is that the Earth turns underneath. You're interrupting me. I didn't interrupt you that time. You're pleading to repeat. Why are you laughing and cutting my mic?
It's funny, Nathan. It's fine.
Shut up! It's not funny. You're wrong. You're still wrong, and I'm going to point out again that you're wrong, and how you're wrong, and you're going to ignore it in detail. Stop talking!
That's fine. I'm comfortable with being wrong if you think that's wrong, Nathan.
You are
You're not just wrong,
now
you're also
shut up and
annoying.
listen to why. Shut up. You are wrong because however the gyro comes to the conclusion with your word salad about what it's doing, the
It's not a word salad,
conclusion...
Nathan.
Are you incapable of shutting up? You like Brenda? You got some sort of mental malfunction where you can't help interrupting the demolition of this assertion. I will demolish it, demolish it, whether you like it or not.
Okay.
Good. Now shut up!
All right.
However the gyroscope is claimed to come to the conclusion that the Earth rotates underneath is negated by the fact that it doesn't rotate underneath an aeroplane.
Any response to that?
Are you guys cool with me responding to it?
There was a
If
great
it's an
big long
actual
silence.
response.
Dude, there was a question. Answer it.
Okay, cool. So you're right, Nathan. It does not rotate in the sense that the airplane is stationary and the Earth is rotating underneath the airplane, while the airplane, according to that frame of reference, is stationary. That is 100%.
So let me get it clear. The Earth does not rotate underneath an aeroplane at 15 degrees an hour as claimed by the gyroscope. That does not happen.
No.
Right. So to summarise, the gyro says the Earth turns underneath at 15 degrees an hour, but the Earth does not rotate underneath aeroplanes at 15 degrees an hour. Precisely
Nathan,
what I said. Why are you interrupting me?
Precisely.
Why are you interrupting me? You stupid fundy zealot. You think this is funny, do you stupid fuckwit? You're wrong. Are you going to have an ounce of humility or just interrupt every time I get to the conclusion, which I've said 4 times?
And I've heard it 4 times, Nathan.
So, yeah, and you've now conceded it. No, Nathan, the Earth doesn't rotate underneath the planes. But yeah, the gyro's doing blah, blah, blah to prove that it does rotate underneath. No, that's a contradiction, you stupid fundy fuckwit.
Nathan, let me try. Dude, despite your assertions for what you claim the ring laser gyro does, Nathan's asking, why does it not support the fact that planes don't turn above the rotation of the Earth? Or rather, the Earth doesn't turn underneath the plane when it's in flight?
Yeah. The reason that it doesn't assert that is because the frame of reference for the light and the frame of reference for the airspeed and the frame of reference for the ground are 3 different things, right? 2 of them are connected. 1 is not connected. The light in the ring laser gyro doesn't care what your airspeed is, right? Going through the air. Okay. It also doesn't care necessarily like what that speed of you going towards the continent is. What it cares about is like, is there actual angular momentum going on?
Yeah,
Now,
the angular momentum you're claiming is the Earth turning underneath. That's what you're claiming. The gyro, according to you, demonstrates the Earth rotating underneath and is completely pissed in the face of the fact that it doesn't turn underneath planes. How many bloody times?
Nathan, it's okay. Give me a second.
Let him keep digging his.
You're
Keep digging his
overcomplicating the shit out
I'm
of this thing.
not. I'm not.
Yeah, you are. You're
He's
tying
applying
in all
Einsteinian
together, all the
relativity.
reference frame and the reference frame. It's either a Coriolis effect or it is not.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. There's no other options. You can't just overcomplicate
I
it
understand that there's
to
nuance.
worm your way through.
Right? You have to understand there's nuance in understanding it.
No, I understand that there's a contradiction. It's bloody glaring. If you claim that the Earth is turning underneath the fixed frame of a gyroscope, then it's also turning underneath an aeroplane, but it does not.
False. You're right. It does not.
Right! So why are you still babbling? You think this is funny? I've explained this now. I have now explained this to you 5 times.
Nathan, he's trolling.
Yeah,
I
he's trolling.
I really am.
He's trolling, man.
No, he's just dense. He's not trolling, he's stupid. He is
guys
not
are
trolling, he is stupid. He is stupid. He is holding 2 positions. Now he's trolling, now he's talking. He's holding 2 positions that are mutually exclusive.
Gentlemen, all I'm trying to do is make a point, and I want to get more than 3 sentences in the explanation.
Why are you
We've had the explanation, you stupid fundy. It's got a contradiction in it. If the gyroscope demonstrates that the Earth rotates underneath at 15 degrees an hour, then the Earth rotates underneath at 15 degrees an hour, and will also rotate underneath a plane at 15 degrees an hour, but it doesn't. That's the 6th time I've told you, you retard, you idiot, you moron.
Let me explain the contradiction he's in. What he's saying in a story of a person who has a bank book, and in his bank book it says he has $5 million. Okay, let's go to your bank and get it. We go to the bank, second reference point, and say, here, my book says I have $5 million. Bank says, sorry, you ain't got that. Yeah, but it's in my book. It doesn't matter. We're the second reference point. We don't have a record of it.
Bottom line is, if the gyro shows that the Earth rotates, then it should always show that the Earth rotates, regardless of where it is.
That is
The
Exactly.
fact that it doesn't show that in an instance, then it proves that the Earth isn't rotating.
It doesn't prove it's rotating in the first place, because what was it doing? It was just rotating on the z-axis.
Right. I was
And
just
they
going by
weren't
what he
on the
said.
North Pole. It doesn't make any damn sense. It's retarded. The assumption that the ring laser gyro spinning on its z-axis, not at the North or South Pole, doesn't prove Earth rotation at all. It is completely idiotic.
So the ring laser gyro doesn't have multiple axes. It only measures differences on that one particular axis. That's why there are 3 of them in an airplane.
Go study.
Who cares?
So why doesn't it work on a helicopter?
It does work on a helicopter.
So then just go up and let China come to you.
So
Could you just say that again?
Hold up. That's why I was saying there's a difference between vector airspeed, right, and angular rotation. Angular rotation, if I go up on the helicopter because the air is going with what's going on the ground, right?
Then there's only 1 reference frame. If the air travels with the ground, then there is not 2 reference frames, there is only a single reference frame. So you do not have a Coriolis effect. The gyroscope is demonstrating a Coriolis effect. 2 reference frames. Now this stupid, retard, idiot, fundy zealot has asserted that the air travels with the Earth. Then there is only 1 reference frame. That is the essence of the contradiction, you stupid idiot.
Hey, so
Nathan, if you can present my screen for a second.
let me show you how, with example of the
No, dude, why don't
Don't
you
need
watch
to.
my screen for a second?
Did you not just listen to me?
That's what this argument is about.
Maybe Owen interrupted. Did you not just listen to what I just said?
I did.
So address it. If the Earth and atmosphere travel as one, there is only 1 reference frame, not 2.
False. So
What do you mean false? No. If the Earth travels with the atmosphere, there is only 1 reference frame.
So Nathan, if I go up in a helicopter and I hover above the ground, right, and I do not calibrate my ring laser gyroscope, right, with the fact that there's 50 miles, I just leave the ring laser gyroscope there. If I do not move from the point that I'm hovering above the ground, okay, with that ring laser gyroscope attached to my helicopter in 1 hour, uncalibrated, it will move. It will say I have moved 15 degrees.
And have you? Has the Earth rotated underneath 15 degrees?
Yes.
So you could
have it.
literally
So you've got free
hold
travel.
on. So you could take off in a
He just said it
helicopter
doesn't have
and
Not the
Free
you could just-
travel. Free travel.
Sorry. You could just take off in a helicopter and wait for wherever you're travelling to just come to you then.
No, guys, you missed what I just said in my.
You just said that you could take off in a helicopter, not have the gyroscope calibrated, and the gyro will tell you that the Earth has rotated underneath at 15 degrees.
What I said is if you hover above the exact same spot.
I heard! You don't have to fucking repeat it. We're not deaf here. You stupid spastics think that we are all deaf and that we don't hear the first time. And when we demolish it, you think that requires a repetition of it. No, what you're saying is you could hover and China would come along.
Exactly.
Oh, guys. All right. But
Why are you laughing at us? You stupid, fundy fuckwits. Why are you laughing at us? Your laughter should be for your own stupidity. You have literally just stated that the Earth rotates underneath the helicopter if the gyro's not calibrated. You could just take off and wait for a continent to come along. Even though earlier in this conversation you've made it very clear that that doesn't happen. Because it doesn't. Now you're saying it does.
I didn't say that it does.
You just said you take off, you don't calibrate your gyro, and the gyro tells you that the Earth rotates underneath at 15 degrees.
Uh-huh.
Well, it doesn't! I mean, are you literally this stupid? Yesterday it was Brenda and now it's this fucking retard. I'm sorry for all the people who've got kids watching, but this drives me absolutely insane. This wanker will fuck us around for the next hour if he gets the opportunity.
Like
David,
a
I
crossover
promise you
between
don't get
Brenda and George Netanyahu.
All right, guys.
I can't believe how simple you
I'm
are.
sorry that you guys think that I'm trying to troll you. I really am not.
No, I've already made that clear. I don't think you're trolling. I think you're stupid.
Okay, that's fine.
No, it's not fine. It's irritating for the less stupid. Yeah? For the people who don't think the Earth rotates underneath helicopters because a gyro says, oh, you've deviated 15 degrees. Yeah, that continent's come along because that's what a ring laser gyro said. Yeah, because the gyro's the arbiter of whether or not Earth turns, even though it bloody doesn't.
Yes, if that's what I said, Nathan, that would be really stupid.
Yeah, you said the gyro, when you take off in a helicopter, if not calibrated, will tell you you've deviated 15 degrees. And according to you, that 15 degrees is the Earth rotating underneath, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
Well, but the Earth hasn't rotated underneath the helicopter. They've still got the same ground underneath it, you stupid idiot. You're not getting it because you're dumb. You're slow. These prolonged pauses that we get are you with the cogs turning. And then when you laugh, it's because you might just start to recognise how stupid you are.
Nathan, you know that laugh?
I promise it's not, Nathan. What I'm laughing at is the fact that, like, the mischaracterization, that's what comedy is you mischaracterize reality and it makes it funny, right?
Yeah, like saying you take off in a gyro says you've actually moved 15 degrees. The Earth's rotated underneath the 15 degrees. That's what the gyro says, even though you're still in the same bloody position, even though the Earth hasn't moved underneath you 15 degrees, even though there's no planes on the equator fighting 1,000-mile-an-hour Earth turn, even though none of that shit happens, you have just asserted in comedic style that the gyro says you have. Yeah, there's that laugh again from the fundy fuckwit on the panel.
Mischaracterizing reality.
Hey, CG,
He's
how
the
much?
one mischaracterizing reality. He's saying we're doing it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're projecting. You are mischaracterizing reality. The Earth doesn't ever rotate underneath anything. But you claim that a gyro proves that it does, even though there isn't a single demonstration of a Coriolis effect that you will ever give us ever, because the Earth does not rotate underneath anything.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not okay. You've pissed us around for the last 3/4 of an hour with this shit.
Okay, Nathan.
Why are you laughing? Why is this funny? You think it's okay to waste our time? We're here looking for truth. You're here to parrot nonsense you don't understand. You're here to demonstrate your ignorance. You're here to give us the verbalization of a contradiction you hold.
What's that? Sorry, Nathan.
2 reference frames and 1 reference frame. Your claim was that there's 2. That's what the gyro demonstrates. And then when it comes to you saying why the planes don't show this separate reference frame with the Earth rotating underneath, yeah, you say it's because there's only one. The Earth and the atmosphere travel as 1 reference frame. So you're an idiot.
Okay.
Not okay. Go away, educate yourself, and don't piss us around here. We are sick of fundies. Fundies who think they live on a spinning ball flying through a vacuum. You're one of them. A fundy.
Okay, Nathan.
It's not okay. Stop saying, okay, I'm a fundy, I'm here to waste everyone's time with my stupidity and ignorance and my contradictions that I'll assert for 45 minutes, whilst telling me that I don't understand vectors.
Hold up, Nathan. You invited me on here. I'm happy to come on here.
I don't give a shit what you're happy to do. You're happy to waste our time with your contradictions. I'm not happy about it, and you're happy to laugh about it.
All right, man.
It's not all right, you stupid fundy. It's not okay to come here, spout total nonsense, demonstrate how you hold contradictions, verbalise them for 45 minutes, and then go, okay. All right, well, I've come along. Aren't you privileged to have my company? No! I'd rather you weren't here, you stupid fundy.
Okay, bye, guys.
Not okay!
I
Don't blame you, Arwin. I've decided not to take a no-kick policy, to just let these wankers wind me up. I'm sick of the appeals to, oh, you mute these people, you should... No, I don't. No. I let them repeat their same shit over the top of me when I demolish their argument. Then I let them repeat their shit 5 more times. With me getting ever more increasingly annoyed. The one who's telling the truth. The one who's actually got the facts. The one who's demonstrating admirably that the Earth doesn't rotate underneath anything. Otherwise you'd have this magical travel that we don't experience. Otherwise helicopters, which apparently have a gyroscope telling them that the Earth's deviated to the tune of 15 degrees, doesn't demonstrate any difference. The Earth hasn't budged a smegging inch under the helicopter, but yet it still get asserted. Well, the gyro says it has. Oh, well, why hasn't China come along?